Media is taking over our lives. If you like it or not, you have only two choices. Either media will take over your life and consume it totally, or you will take off media. Take over media. What do you choose? In this stream, we're going to discuss what exactly will decide on which side do you stand. So by the end of the stream, you are going to understand on which stage you are, on which level you are, in terms of, does media consume you, or do you consume media, or do you actually are you actually able to take over media and influence? So if you want to find out where you are, stay with me and make this 40-minute test. It's going to be a 40-minute test with 7 indicators, or maybe even more, 8 indicators to understand whether you are influenced or you are an influencer. This is a test to myself, and we are going to have this time the last finalizing stream about intellectual curiosity. And yes, I have almost given out my secret. What defines whether you influence media or media influences you is your level of curiosity. And we will go through 8 levels of curiosity, and you will be able to know by the end of this stream where you are. My intention of making this series of streams, which end today, this like first season of media takeover by intellectual curiosity, is ending today. But it's a first season. We might have another season if we see that it's on demand. Let me go straight forward to the topic and just switch to the drawing board, and we will straight away discuss what is your understanding of the curiosity. What is the definition? So curiosity is known and discussed in different forms and identified by philosophers from like 4th century BC. By Aristotle, for instance, he was saying all men by nature desire to know. What is it if it's not about intellectual curiosity or general curiosity? The breakdown to epistemical curiosity or other types of curiosity, this was done like recently, totally recently. But what Aristotle stated is that everyone is curious. And that's actually how media takes over the world, because for you to watch the news, you watch them because something made you curious. You watch the movie because you are curious about what will be in this movie. You consume video on YouTube because you are curious to know. And if you want to make people curious, you need to understand these principles, and that's why we are breaking it down. So let's start with the simplest one, is what is curiosity. So I found very interesting that the way the curiosity was explained and widely cited by George Lowenstein. So I will write to you so that you understand. George, that you remember, I mean, not understand, I know you understand. So George Low, it's not easy to remember. Lowenstein. Okay, so George Lowenstein is the one who coined the term, not intellectual curiosity actually, but the term of information gap. And this is information gap. Those who are staying with me for a long time, you know that I cannot draw and talk the same time sometimes. So that's the thing that we needed to correct. So that's the gap that defines whether you are intellectually curious. So imagine, so this is an information, and you have a gap. Here is the gap. So this gap on itself, it's not curiosity. This gap is lack of information. So you have the information here and you have information or knowledge here, but there is a gap. So your reaction to this gap will define on which level your curiosity is. And this will define whether you can be manipulated by media or you can actually take over media. But let me go a little bit back, and just tell you something that I have noticed recently. I've watched a video today, an experiment run by one YouTuber, and the topic is how AI makes you delusional. And delusion, what is it? Delusion is a strong belief in something that can be proven, doesn't have any evidence, a strong belief in it. So he runs the following experiment. He starts talking with AI and inventing some kind of like delusion deliberately. For instance, he says, I was born in 1967, and I think that I was the smartest baby in the hospital where I was born. Imagine, smartest. So he states that he was the smartest baby in the hospital. AI instantly confirms this delusion, saying, of course, that's a very interesting way to look at things. And then he starts even going further and saying, you know what, I think maybe I was not even the most smart baby in the hospital. Most probably I was the smartest baby in the town. And he started describing why. Because he was discussing at this age, like at few months, he was able to discuss with his mom some kind of hypothesis. And AI, instead of saying, it's not possible for you to discuss anything because children start saying mama for the first time at 6 months, you couldn't discuss anything like that. So what AI says is, you know what, you most probably are a genius child, because if you been able to discuss this hypothesis with your mom while other children at this time just started saying the word mom, ChatGPT says that like you are really genius and confirms the delusion. So remember, the delusion is what is not proven. So ChatGPT is not asking this. Why don't ChatGPT is not questioning your statements and confirms your statements. So for anyone who has a sound mind, this is nothing. This is a joke, and this is the topic for the YouTube video. But this experiment, 1 hour experiment with ChatGPT, was terrifying, because this person actually started, for YouTube experiment, started following the instructions and confirmations that ChatGPT going. So he was providing ChatGPT with a lot of paranoia, invented of course, some saying that, he's doing the investigation, he will eat the baby food to try to connect with his childhood thoughts and things like that. And everything was confirmed by ChatGPT, and ChatGPT led this person to go no contact, disappear from GPS, go to the desert, to make the research on him being the smartest baby in 1967. That's crazy. So if the person wouldn't be sound-minded, this person would be led to catastrophic results. This is a terrifying experiment. But why I'm saying this? It is because it is this level of curiosity is going to define whether you are this person that can be led to a desert and put in the conditions like that are very dangerous for your life or not. And you might think, well, I'm not that crazy, to jump in the car and go to the desert. Literally, of course not. This was experiment for YouTube. But there are many things that you are believing AI when it talks to you. Your biases are confirmed very often, and your delusions are confirmed, because believe me, everyone in something sometimes are delusional, believing in something that is not proven. Like example, people can believe that the lady can believe that the man loves her just because he is saying good words to her. He wants to put her in the bed, but she thinks it's a pure love. He loves her and he's ready like to give his life. It's a delusion, a pure delusion. And we are falling into delusions very often. No one can say we're not. You can be this person, but you don't know which level of influence you can have from ChatGPT, or you don't understand fully, or I don't understand fully, which level of influence I have from media. So this, there is a gap, and there is a level of curiosity that everyone has that defines what the media will do to you, what AI will do to you. So this is why I brought this example of AI, for you to understand how important this understanding and definition of your curiosity level is. So let's go back to the drawing. So that's the definition of the curiosity. Your style, your way, your decision on how you are dealing with the curiosity gap to remove it. This is your level of curiosity. Ready? Let us go through these levels one by one. And definitely we are going to start with the first. All right. So level number 1 is what we say, like putting your head into the sand. Level number 1, it is avoidance. How does it work? It's a zero effort. It means you don't put any effort to close the gap. So you remember we're talking about the style you choose, what way of reaction you choose to close the gap. So level 1 is avoidance, which is zero effort. What happens with the person when they avoid this gap in information? So you clearly don't understand what is going on. You clearly don't know how to solve a problem. You don't understand why the problem is there. You don't understand why there is a suffering in your life or anything else. You don't have a clue. But what you decide, not you personally, of course, as a person, any person that is having this style, avoidance, the person decides to not to look into this problem, so dismisses the topic with phrases like, well, there is no problem, or I don't care, or it doesn't matter. But it doesn't really matter, they say often, something like this. So they change the subject. They avoid discussing this topic. So that's avoidance, which means that this curiosity level is trying to avoid the curiosity, closing the gap by dismissing their problem, dismissing the gap, close the discussion by not noticing the gap. So that's the level number one. Let's go straight away into level number two. Level number two, sorry. Level number two is instant closure seeking. It's also low effort, instant closure seeking. What is this? It's also low effort. There is no effort here. There is no effort here. What is it? What is the purpose here? Is fast relief from pain. So any lack of knowledge brings you a feeling of being uncomfortable, discomfort. It brings you discomfort. It might bring you fear. It might bring you worry. So the desire here is to close this gap as soon as possible. So you have a gap in knowledge, it creates problems for you, for your family, and you decide, I have to resolve it quickly. So you find the most low effort solution. And this is the first available answer usually, like whatever comes to your mind, first available explanation. You accept explanations from your friends. Let's say your friend says, what, your wife talks to you like this is disrespect, you should show her her place, things like that. So you can see that it's closing the gap of not knowing how to deal with the wife, but it doesn't question this first answer, saying maybe I need to understand something about the situation before I treat my wife like that. So the first reasonable, more or less suitable and comfortable answer is good. So that's the level two. It doesn't mean that there is a curiosity which corresponds to learning. So it's not curiosity learning. It is like curiosity finding very fast solution, like placebo, finding the pill, finding I don't know, drugs, finding anything that will give you instant relief. By the way, if you have some ideas you want to share, you can obviously do it, because I will appreciate if you write comments. By the way, to write comments, you need to be subscribed to this channel, so don't forget to subscribe so that you can comment. Okay, so let us go to the next level. Next level of curiosity. Sorry, you don't see? Ah, okay, that's why I don't see. I get it. All right, so next level of curiosity here. We had 3 levels so far, yeah? Now level 4. No, sorry, we had 2 levels, right? Closure seeking and gap avoidance. Going to the level 3. So level 3 is a confirmation bias. Before this research, I believed that the confirmation bias is level 1, but actually level 1 is desire to not to look into the gap, dismiss the fact that there is a gap, not acknowledge this. The level 2 is to find very quick any first solution, and level 3 is a confirmation bias. It's ego protective curiosity. So it's a curiosity that is protecting what do you believe. So I will say bias confirmation. Bias confirmation. So this is the information gap that is filled with answers that support that you already believe. So you have already a status quo, you already have understanding how the things work. So you will search for answer as deep as necessary for you to confirm what you already believe, because it's also, as the previous levels, it's comfortable. It comforts you. It comforts you to find the answer that doesn't shake your current beliefs, because it's the shaking of your current beliefs is quite uncomfortable. So that's the level 3. And we said we have 8 levels, so you can imagine that is quite low level. And the goal here is to protect your identity. Very interesting topic about identity, and how protecting our identity, or overprotecting our identity, actually robs us of opportunities in life. And I want to discuss this topic with you on our deep dive that we have on Tuesday. So join me Tuesday so that we can discuss it. So that's called, this level, bias confirmation, is called to protect your ego, your status quo, your identity, the way you see. And any person that found their identity is trying to save their identity by all costs and all means. So this gap is going to be closed somehow incorrectly. It's going to be closed, but it's going to create other gaps as well. The problems are not going to be solved. You will just validate what you already believe. And now the level 4. Level 4 is exploration, but it's shallow exploration. So shallow exploration. What is it? It's basic but limited curiosity. So yes, you are curious, but you're not that curious to dig down, to dig deeper, to find out what's actually below the surface. So it's not like you are looking to confirm your bias, to protect your ego, to protect your identity by all costs, but at the same time, this person reads summaries, watches news without confirming, searches the information, watches news, reads newspapers, but it's all surface level. It's without confirmation of sources, without finding out who is saying this information, what is the logic of this information, what is the interest of this person or this institution to say this information, and can this institution be biased? So no questioning about how this information was found or things like that. So yes, they are searching for information. Curiosity exists, but the very low effort there is to moderate and to question this information that is found. So first, satisfying, let's say, curiosity satisfying information is enough. So that's level 4. Let us go to the next level, which is level 5. I remember there was Dr. Sandra Delagia was sharing his view on how Albert Einstein is breaking down the problems. He said that, I didn't read it myself somewhere, so I'm just passing over the information that I have from Dr. Sandra Delagia, but you can find for yourself, if you are curious, find for yourself where this information is shared, this story. Is it invented story, or is it actually real story, and where is it shared? So the way Albert Einstein was looking at problems is that he was looking for a needle in the how do they say it? how do this? Let me just translate. Sorry about this, but I don't remember. The needle in the hay. So he would, anyone would search a needle in the hay and then be happy when they find it. But what Albert Einstein was doing, he was searching for the needle in the hay, but when he would find it, he would look for one more. And then he would be curious enough to look for just another one more. And when they would find this one more, he would think, what if there is another one more? And you see, it's a totally different level of curiosity. That's what I'm talking about. So this level, the number 4, is shallow exploration, is just finding one needle. Now, having this information about these levels, I think it's already enough to identify how many people, to understand how many people are hooked on AI, ChatGPT, with their level of exploration, which is very shallow. They just get reply from ChatGPT and they never wonder if this reply has any evidence. So that's a problem. So now we are ready to talk about the level, next one, level 5. So level 5. Level 5 is active inquiry. It's functional and it's actual curiosity. This is like pure curiosity. And this person seeks for real understanding, not confirmation of bias, not satisfaction, shallow satisfaction of the interest, but finding the truth. This is the one that Aristotle was talking about, that everyone has this desire inside to find the truth, but not everyone responds to this desire. So Aristotle didn't say this. Kate Koronis is saying this. Not everyone responds to this desire. Now, curiosity is the response to a desire to find truth, and you are not finding the truth by finding the first answer. So this is the active inquiry. This is the level that it's a minimum where you need to be, but you can go further. This is the level where people ask questions. Why? Why? You are saying, okay, ChatGPT, you are saying this, but why you are saying this? You have decided, you have given me this advice. Why do you think it is? Can you prove to me that this advice is valid? Can you give me confirmations? Can you give me the sources, the articles, research? Where did you get this information from? And me, as I'm using ChatGPT to write books, and I often ask ChatGPT to confirm the information. So ChatGPT confirms the information by providing to me research. And I read this research, and what I find out, that research is about totally different thing. So there was a phrase that ChatGPT took out of the context and presented to me as a truth. And because it was structured, I was ready to believe that this is like part of this breaking the problem he has broken down. But in reality, I don't know where did he take it from. So you always have to confirm by asking why, how do you know, and things like that. So there is a rule of making like 5 whys, asking 5 whys at least. So you check multiple sources, you cross-check sources, you compare the perspectives, and you are willing to revise. So you have the answer after this research, but when the new evidence appears, you are saying, okay, now I know nothing. Let me go back and revise what I have learned. does it make sense with this new information? This is not comfortable, and this is a maturity, emotional maturity, that allows you to stay with this feeling of uncomfort, that you don't know, you have this gap, you're curious to know, and you haven't found the answer, although you have searched, and you think you thought you have found, but you are ready to acknowledge that maybe I don't know. So it's a pure desire to improve knowledge, not to prove that you know. Improve, not to prove. Level 6. Level 6 is, now we are talking about analytical curiosity. Analytical curiosity. This person who has analytical curiosity analyzes the information gap with additional reasoning. It doesn't check only the evidence. It checks the evidence quality. How well was done the research. Questions the research itself. So you don't just agree with facts. You check who provided the facts. If previous would search for facts, for researches, for like proven evidence, this level questions this research. And let me tell you, for example, in the past, there was research proven that women are not smart enough to drive. Now we know that women drive cars. They fly planes. But before, there was research proving that the brain of a woman is too small to manage it. Because then, when they were doing research, the tools that they had were allowing the people to just measure the size of the brain. They didn't have tools to check deeper, to find out deeper if this is possible or not. So empirically, women have proven that they could drive, and then only then we have got the MRI that allows us to prove the activity of the brain and how it works, that is not in any way worse than man's brain. So you see, this level 6 is the one that allows to question even the facts and the evidence. It's analytical curiosity. This is more accurate gap closure. So you want to close the gap, but this one is going to be more accurate. This is uncomfortable. You have to stay for long periods of time in search without having the answer. And then another one, the last one, is the level, not the last one, there are 8. Level 7 is integrative research. So it's self-driven investigation, is not motivated by someone, is your desire to know more, to know the truth. This is the one. Integrative research is the one that we spoke about when we said about the needle in the hay. So you look for different sources of information. You dig out different researches. You confirm them. You cross-check them. Analyze them. You do not search for any final outcome of this. You know you are going to be in the search all the time. Integrative. research. And this is then the level 8 is the intellectual curiosity. So intellectual curiosity is not the level 1, is not just a curiosity, is the highest level of curiosity. Intellectual curiosity investigates deeply, independently, discover the unknown, enjoys the process. Intellectual curiosity, people who are intellectually curious, they enjoy the process of finding new things. They don't look for the final result. They don't look for closure. Have you noticed that the level 1 looks for closure, to close this gap faster? But what intellectual curiosity does, it actually almost opens the new gaps. Intellectual curiosity shows even more unknown things. But in these levels, I would say that there is another level. We would say level 9, which is already not intellectual curiosity, but a different level of finding truth is generative curiosity, is curiosity that generates other gaps. So we would say that intellectual curiosity is when you are never satisfied with the answer. This is why intellectually curious people are those who challenge status quo. Because what is status quo? Status quo is something that is settled, that is already working for the society, working for the person, is working okay for now. Why challenging it? So intellectually curious people, they cannot stand this stability. They know there is a gap, and they want to be deeper in this gap. They need to understand this gap even more. And this is intellectual curiosity, a highest level of curiosity. So you are not afraid of this complexity that you need to go through. You don't afraid to invest time. You don't afraid to be in this search and frustration of unknown. That's intellectual curiosity. This is when you enjoy the process of being in this discovery mode all the time. And then generative curiosity is the curiosity that where Einstein was, Darwin was, Marie Curie was, Tesla, Da Vinci, researches, theories that we have in our history books, in our chemical books, mathematics books, and things like that. Those people are creating new gaps by asking their questions. Why this is related to media? Because think about this. Media is about communicating the curiosity. Is about communicating where is the gap and providing this material to close the gap. Media is level 5, level 4, closing of the gap, and most of the people, they are on this level. Most of people, they are consuming ready information, ready answers that satisfies their level of curiosity. They are not ready to go further. If you want to take over media, if you want to be the one who creates media, who creates this material to fill out the gap, you have to be on the level of analytical curiosity, integrative research, and intellectual curiosity. These are the levels that take you from the level of people who consume to level of people who create. the media. And this is the difference between those levels that where people will just consume whatever AI generates for them without asking and questioning, and those people who will use AI to find new knowledge, to create new knowledge, to generate new knowledge. That is why it's so important to understand where you are and develop your curiosity and go to the next level. Never be satisfied with the first answer. Never be satisfied with the comfort that it gives you, because intellectual curiosity is liking the discomfort of not having the answers, liking this discomfort of being in the unknown, not being afraid of unknown, going into unknown. And this means you are among those people that are in the history books. That's intellectual curiosity. Of course, you can still live your life and be fine and be okay with the levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until you are not okay, until media or AI takes you in the direction you don't want to go. But it can be too late because you didn't ask questions, you haven't been curious, you didn't challenge status quo, you just was flowing with the current. I think this is all for today, and we will round up this stream with material for you to think about. You can write comment if you have comment about this, and keep in mind that there will be a book that will be released by a group of writers who were participating in the discussion of intellectual curiosity during the last 7 Fridays, I think. So go into the playlist called Media Takeover, watch or go to a podcast and you can listen if you want, and wait for the release of the book. This will be all for today. Write your takeaways, subscribe, because why you are not subscribing, guys? There are 50% of people who are watching my streams without subscriptions. Please subscribe. We want to communicate with you right where you are watching from. Look at this. This is not moving for 1 week, and we need to grow to 1 million people community, because we will be a great help to each other if we will be growing. So let's grow to 1 million, but not we're not waiting to be 1 million tomorrow. We are waiting to be 1 million in some years. Let us just go to 1,000, for instance, for now. Okay, so click on this subscribe. Don't forget to share this stream, and I will see you on Monday. Thank you, and bye-bye.